I've been presenting a series of articles that appeared in the Detroit Sunday, Times of May 2nd, 1937. 1937 was the centennial celebration for Michigan, and there were articles that were really interesting about how the auto industry changed Michigan, the nation, and actually the world. Um, so there's one last remaining article that I'd like to share with you, and this is called Packard Well-In Van Among Car Pioneers. Founders of company helped make state automobile leader. And this was written by Alvin Macaulay, President, Packard Motor Car Company. So without further comment from me, let's jump right into it. No chapter in American industrial history is more remarkable than Michigan's development as an automobile manufacturing state. The founding and growth of motor car enterprises in the state early in the present century, which established Michigan's leadership, was not due to mere accident. It took courage, an adventurous spirit, a pioneer hardihood to launch the automobile, and these characteristics were predominant among the founders of the industry. The energy and vision necessary were here, and to those Michigan pioneers must be given much of the credit for the vast industry that resulted, an industry which today is bounded by no single state, but which in reality is a national enterprise penetrating deeply into the social and economic life of the people of every state and every single community. It was in 1901 that Henry B. Joy and Truman H. Newberry of Detroit visited New York to look over the horseless carriage market. Joy came back with a Packard car bought from the store of Adams and McCurdy and manufactured by the Packard brothers, J.W. and W.D. at Warren, Ohio, it looks like. Anyways, Joy tinkered with the car. He made frequent trips to Warren and argued car mechanics with the Packard brothers, who had built up a successful electrical equipment business and whose entrance into the automobile manufacture with the Ohio Automobile Company was really a byproduct of J.W. Packard's inventive genius. If I interrupt for a moment, if I stumble over a few words, there's a big tear in this paper which is in very fragile condition. But let's continue. Soon he invested in the company, and in another year had interested Detroit friends to join him. Among them were Newberry, Philip H. McMillan, and Russell A. Alger. All, including Joy, were closely linked with the pioneer families of Michigan, and it was largely through their energies that the Packard Company was founded and carried to early success. Joy's father, James F. Joy, a professor at Dartmouth College, came to Michigan in 1836, a year before the state's admission to the Union. He was 24 years old. He became interested in water transportation and built the first locks at Sault Ste. Marie. Then, when a new and potent form of transportation appeared, he became a railroad builder, and he built the Kansas City, Fort Scott, and Gulf Railroad. With Lewis Cass and Zachariah Chandler, he interested Cornelius Vanderbilt in the possibilities of the great virgin state of Michigan and obtained for it its greatest need, railroad transportation. Contemporary with the elder Joy, and also conspicuous in the development of the Wolverine State, were John S. Newberry Sr., Senator James McMillan, and Russell A. Alger Sr. The elder Newberry and Senator McMillan were pioneers in furnishing railroad transportation facilities. The senior Alger was a great figure in the famous Michigan White Pine days, becoming one of the biggest lumber operators in both Michigan and in Canada. Later, when he had retired from active business, he held the post of Secretary of War under President McKinley during the Spanish-American War. It was the sons of these pioneers who, with the fascinated eyes of youth, founded the Packard Motor Car Company, and on their own they had the pioneering attributes that were necessary to launch a new form of transportation in the automobile. On October 13, 1902, the directors of the Ohio Automobile Company voted to increase the capital stock to $500,000 to provide for shares to be issued to the Detroit investors. The name of the company was changed to Packard Motor Car Company, and the first stockholders' meeting was held January 29, 1903. Decision was made to move the manufacturing of the car from Warren to Detroit. The F.B. Shipman farm of 40 acres far from the center of town on the inner belt line was of the Michigan Central was purchased. Grand Boulevard, built around the outskirts of the city, ran through it. Out in the sparsely settled farm section, one of Detroit's first automobile manufacturing plants was built on 5 acres of land. Here today, with Detroit's snugly built around it, is Packard's home. When the plant was moved to Detroit, the Packard brothers remained in Warren to administer the Packard Electric Company, although J.W. continued as president of Packard Motor Car Company. For 2 years, Joy assumed active management and succeeded Packard as president. Continuing until 1916, working closely with Henry R. Joy were Truman H. Newberry, Philip M. McMillan, and Russell A. Alger, and Colonel S.D. Walden, and the article ends there. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please think about subscribing and tapping on that bell icon so that you